Have you ever wondered who really pulls the strings of the global economy? We talk about the Fed, the European Central Bank, even Wall Street. But what if I told you there's an organization more powerful, more secretive, and more influential than all of them combined? An institution that operates above sovereign law, whose members are unelected, and whose decisions can shape the financial destiny of entire nations without a single headline. Welcome to the world of the Bank for International Settlements, or the BIS. This isn't just another financial institution. It's the central bank for central banks, a private club for the world's most powerful monetary figures. And tonight, we're going inside. This is Finance House, and today we're exposing the invisible empire that controls global money. To understand the BIS, we have to travel back to the aftermath of World War I. Europe was in ruins, and Germany was saddled with crippling war reparations imposed by the Treaty of Versailles. The problem was, how do you manage such massive cross-border payments? In 1930, the world's leading central bankers, including figures from Germany, Britain, France, and even a private consortium of American bankers like J.P. Morgan, came together to create a solution. They founded the Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. Its official purpose was to facilitate Germany's reparation payments, but its creators had a much grander long-term vision. They envisioned a neutral, apolitical space where central bankers could meet and coordinate policy away from the prying eyes of politicians and the public. Switzerland, with its long-standing tradition of neutrality, was the perfect location. The BIS was granted extraordinary legal immunities. Its premises are considered inviolable, its assets are immune from seizure, and its staff enjoy legal immunity from prosecution for acts performed in their official capacity. In essence, it's a sovereign financial entity, accountable only to its own members, the central banks themselves. While the reparation payments eventually became obsolete, the BIS had already found its true calling: to be the ultimate insider is club for the global financial elite. So, what does the BIS actually do day to day? Think of it as the guardian of global financial stability. Its headquarters, an 18-story cylindrical building in Basel, often called the Tower of Basel, is where the world's central bank governors meet every 2 months. These are the Basel meetings. Behind closed doors, figures like the chair of the Federal Reserve and the president of the European Central Bank discuss the state of the world economy, interest rate policies, and potential threats to the system. These meetings are strictly confidential. No press releases, no public minutes. The decisions and consensus reached here ripple out and influence monetary policy in almost every country on Earth. When you hear your local central bank talk about inflation targets or financial regulation, chances are the initial framework for that discussion was shaped in a room in Basel. Beyond these secret meetings, the BIS has two other core functions. First, it's a bank for central banks. Central banks hold a portion of their foreign exchange reserves, trillions of dollars in total, at the BIS. The BIS manages these assets, providing a secure and discreet place for countries to conduct transactions. Second, and perhaps most importantly, it's a global standard setter. You might have heard of Basel III. This isn't a person. It's a set of international banking regulations developed by the Basel Committee on Banking Supervision, which is hosted by the BIS. These rules dictate how much capital banks must hold, how much risk they can take on, and how they should manage their liquidity. These aren't just suggestions. They're adopted by member countries and become law, fundamentally shaping the global banking landscape. Through these standards, the BIS effectively sets the rules of the game for every major bank in the world. Now, this is where the story gets controversial. Critics argue the BIS represents a massive democratic deficit. Here you have a group of unelected technocrats, meeting in secret, making decisions that affect the lives of billions. Who holds them accountable? The answer is, essentially, no one but themselves. Their legal immunity and lack of transparency have led to accusations that the BIS serves the interests of big international banks rather than the public. During financial crises, the policies promoted by the BIS, like austerity and bank bailouts, have often been criticized for protecting creditors and financial institutions at the expense of ordinary citizens. The BIS's history is also not without its shadows. During World War II, it was accused of facilitating financial transactions for the Nazi regime, a dark chapter that the bank has since acknowledged and expressed regret over. This history only adds fuel to the fire for those who see the BIS as an unaccountable power operating in the shadows. Proponents, however, see things very differently. They argue that in our deeply interconnected global economy, we need an institution like the BIS. Financial crises don't respect national borders. The 2008 meltdown, which started in the US housing market, quickly became a global catastrophe. In such a world, coordination between central banks isn't just helpful, it's essential to prevent a complete collapse. The BIS provides the neutral ground for that critical cooperation. Supporters claim that its independence from political pressure is a feature, not a bug. It allows central bankers to make difficult, long-term decisions for financial stability without worrying about short-term political cycles or popular opinion. For them, the BIS is not a sinister cabal, but a necessary, pragmatic body of experts working to keep the incredibly complex and fragile global financial system from falling apart. So, where is this invisible empire headed next? The BIS is now at the forefront of one of the biggest revolutions in the history of money: central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. While the world is distracted by cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, the BIS is quietly coordinating research and development for government-issued digital money. They are running multiple cross-border projects like Project M-Bridge with China and the UAE to build the infrastructure for a future where money is purely digital and controlled by central banks. This could mean faster, cheaper international payments, but it could also open the door to unprecedented levels of financial surveillance and control, where every single transaction is monitored and potentially even restricted by a central authority. The BIS's role in shaping this future is, once again, happening largely behind the scenes, yet its implications for our financial freedom and privacy are immense. From its murky origins, managing war debt, to its modern-day role as the architect of global financial rules, the pioneer of digital currencies, the Bank for International Settlements remains one of the most powerful and least understood organizations on the planet. It is an invisible empire of finance operating beyond the reach of democracy. Yet its influence is felt in every corner of our lives. Every time we take out a loan swipe, a credit card, or watch the value of our savings change, is it a necessary guardian of global stability, or a dangerous concentration of unaccountable power? The truth, as is often the case, is likely somewhere in the complex gray area in between. But one thing is certain: an empire this powerful deserves to be seen. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive at Finance House. If you found this exploration into the world's most secretive bank fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that uncovers the hidden forces shaping our world. Let us know your thoughts on the BIS in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.